A very good morning to class 6 student. Class 6 student, this time is for computer period. So now today we are going to revise the chapter number 1. The name of the chapter is the computer system. Your first chapter of computer, the computer system. In this chapter we'll talk about the systems of the computer. There are so many systems are included in a computer. So we'll take one by one. So the introduction part of the computer system. A computer system, basically computer system has three main components. The main components are hardware, software, hardware and software and the user. There are three main components. Hardware, software and the user. The equipments associated with a computer system is called hardware. Software is a set of instructions that tells the hardware what to do. Means software is nothing else, it's a set of instructions that tell the hardware what to do in a computer. User are the most important component of a computer system. People use power of the computer for different purpose. And we already divided the computer into three parts: hardware, software and user. So let's talk about hardware. What is hardware? Basically, the definition of hardware is the physical part which we can see and touch of computer is called hardware. Now I'm going to talk about what is hardware. Hardware. Computer hardware is a collection of all the parts of the computer. All the parts of computer you can physically touch. The computer is a machine that can program to accept data, process it into a useful information, and store it away. Store in secondary memory. Secondary memory are output devices, and the store it away in a secondary or storage device for safekeeping or later reuse. The process of input or to output is direct by the software but performed by the hardware. For example, input device. All of you know that the input device through which we can put the data into a computer is called input device. And the input device examples are keyboard, mouse. An output device through which we get something is called output device, like printer, monitor. Storage device are hard disk, CD, DVD and all that. Internal components are CPU, motherboard, RAM, etc. So these are the parts, examples of hardware. So students, you also do one thing: you have to draw two input device and two output device in your copies. Write the name of the devices, and in heading you have to write input device. Then you have to draw two input devices diagram. Then after you have to put one another title, it's output device. Then you have to draw two figure of output devices. All of you know that the input device is keyboard, mouse, and output device is a printer and monitor. So now we'll talk about software. What is software? A software is a set of programs that govern the operation of a computer system and its related devices. It is a collection of instructions that enables the user to interact with a computer and its hardware to perform tasks. Without a software, most computers should be useless. Without a software, computer is useless. So software can be broadly divided into two categories. We already divide the software into two parts: system software and application software. So students, I'm again going to repeat you what are softwares. Softwares are those things which are already installed in a computer, like MS Paint, MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint. These are the softwares. We have to install these softwares in our computer system. So the definition is, a software is a set of programs that govern the operation of a computer system and its related devices. It is a collection of instructions that enable the user to interact with a computer, its hardware, or perform tasks. Without a software, most computer would be useless. Software can be broadly divided into two categories: system software and application software. So student, let's talk about what is system software and what is application softwares. Some of you know about this. System software. A system software controls all the internal activities of a computer. System software controls all the internal activities of a computer system and also the ones between all the attached component of a computer system. Attached means so many systems are attached with a computer system, like printer, mouse, CPU, and all that. A system software is a software that help a computer to run operating system. Operating systems are Windows, Linux. They are the operating systems. Language processor. Language are compiler and interpreter. They are the language processor. Are example of system software. And let's move forward to the application software. So before telling you the about the application software, just take a recap of system software. What is the system software? System software control all internal activities of a computer system and also the ones between all the attached components of a computer system. A computer software is a software that help a computer to run operating system, right? So students, let's talk about application software. What are application software? An application software enables the user to complete the task such as creating document, spreadsheets, database, and publication, doing online research, sending email, designing graphics, running business, and even playing games. Word processing software, web browser, through the application software. So what is application software? An application software enables the user to complete the task such as creating documents, spreadsheet, database, and publication, doing online research, sending emails, design graphics, running businesses, and even playing games. Word processing softwares are MS Word, web browser, they are the word processing. And what is relation between hardware and the software? Relation between hardware and the software is a very important part, because without a hardware, software can't be able to work, and without a software, hardware is nothing. So both are dependent on each other. Hardware and software are dependent on each other. Both of them must work together or make a computer produce a useful output. A software cannot utilize without the hardware, and the hardware without a set of programs to operate upon cannot be utilized and is useless. To get a particular job done on the computer, relevant software should be loaded into the hardware. So all of you know that the software is very important role in our daily life. That's why we get, time to time we are getting the different softwares. A software acts as an interact between the user and the hardware. So this one is the relation between hardware and the software. Once again, I am going to repeat the same one. Hardware and software are dependent on each other. Both of them both of them must work together to make a computer product a useful output. A software cannot be utilized without the hardware. A hardware without a set of programs to operate upon cannot be utilized and is useless. To get a particular job done on the computer, relevant software should be loaded into the hardware. Different software applications can be loaded on a hardware to execute different jobs. A software acts as an interface between the user and the hardware. So these are the relation between hardware and the software. So both the things are very useful for us. Without one of them, we can't be able to work with a computer. So after that, classification of computers. We classified computers in a three categories. Computers are available in various sizes for various purposes. The basic function of the computer remains the same. All of you know that the basic function of the computers are same. Computer are classified based on the following categories criteria: purpose, size, technology. Because all of you have seen so many computers which are used by the scientists, we are not going to use those computers in our computer lab, right? The above categories are categorized further in subcategories. Computer classify based on purpose: general purpose computers, special purpose computers, and computer classify based on size also: microcomputers, mini computers, mainframe computers, and supercomputers, digital computers, analog computers, and hybrid computers. So let's talk about computer languages. Language is a system of communication. Language is a system of communication between human beings. All of you know that because we are going to communicate with you through a language. Without a language, how can we communicate with each other? Not possible. That's why language is a system to communicate between human beings. We use various languages to convey our thoughts and views. Similarly, to make computer work for us, we need to convey the instructions to the computer. These instructions must be stored in some kind of language, and this language is called programming language. A programming language is a set of commands, instructions, and other syntax used to create a software programs. Computer languages. We divided computer languages into five categories. First is machine language, then the assembly language, then high level language, then fourth generation language, then fifth generation language. So these are the languages developed by the scientist, which we classified in these categories. Let's talk about one by one. What is machine language? Machine language is also known as first generation language. Machine language is also known as first generation language. This is the language that a computer actually understands. A computer is a machine which works on electricity. Electric signals are its main input. These signals are expressed as low voltage of 0 and high voltage on 1. All of you know that the electricity is based on negative and positive energy. Negative means 0, positive means 1. So that's why. Machine language is composed of zeros and ones. It is also known as low level language. Its main characteristic are as follows. Characteristic, all of you know the meaning of this one. It is the high speed and is processed very fast. Machine level code is very efficient. The use of machine language is very tedious, difficult, and time consuming. Code written in machine language cannot be transferred to other system and has to be rewritten. Code is different to edit and update. What is assembly language? All of you know that machine language was difficult to code and highly prone to error. Hence, very few programmers were available to code using machine language. To prevent these errors, programmers came up with a new language. What had happened? Programmer developed a new language that because they have done some modification on that particular language, that modification is called assembly language. So they generate a new language which is called assembly language. This one is also be called a second generation language and also a low level language. In why it is called a low level language? Because in this language the simple English words are also included. They are also called mnemonic codes. This language uses simple English word known as mnemonic codes. For example, like if you want to add something, we have to write a double d. We are also going to write a double d add in mathematics whenever we are going to do the addition. And for the subtraction, we are going to write sub, right? So same codes are going to be used in second generation language. Assembly language can directly work with the physical CPU. Processing speed is very high. Processing speed is higher than the machine language, right? Code cannot be transferred to other system. The same scenario which is in machine language. Need a translator to convert the codes into a machine language known as assembler. The converter which is going to convert the machine language into a translator is called assembler. A computer can understand only the electronic pulses. All of you know that because computer can't be able to understand our language, it can understand only electronic pulses. The electronic pulses are written in 0 and 1. It cannot understand the code of written in English alphabet. The mnemonic codes of the assembly language have to be translated into a machine language for the computer to understand. A translator program assembler is used to convert the input by the assembly language into a machine language and also the output back from the machine language into the assembly language. So this one is called assembly language, where the most probably so many mnemonic codes has been used. And next one is high level language. What is high level language? High level language is also called a third generation language, third level language. They are very much like everyday text and mathematical formulas in appearance. These are user friendly programming language. User friendly, why it is called a user friendly? Because programs are written in high level language are much easier to maintain and modify. We can easily maintain and modify. Modify means if you want to do some changes on that particular language, we can. But before that, we can't be able to edit that program whatever what we have done. A program is executed line by line in sequence. This one is the advantage of high level language. Easier to code and implement. Program written once can be implemented and executed on multiple machines. This one is the great advantage of high level language. Program written once, we have to written once in a program and we implement it on multiple machines. Need a translator to convert a code into a machine language, right? The translator to convert the machine language into a codes is called translator. Like assembly language, the high level language are also required to convert into a machine language, and it's also be called a compiler. Machine language to computer to understand. There are two type of translators. Two type of translators are there: interpreter and the compiler. Interpreter and the compiler are the translator which are used to convert the programming language into a machine language into a assembly language, right? Machine language from to computer to understand, right? So let's talk about what is interpreter and what is compiler. What is interpreter? This converts a high level language program into machine language line by line. It also executes the program line by line. If there is any program in a computer, translator and executioner stop and the error is reporting for debugging. That means we are going to use the interpreter to check the errors in the programs, because interpreter is going to the program line by line. If we get any type of error, automatically you get an error message on your computer screen, like in 25th line, third column is having some error. So what you have to do, you have to find it out the error message very soon, and you can rectify that errors very soon. So this one is a big invention in a computer industry. Compiler is what? Compiler means whenever we are going to compile the things, इकट्ठा करना. A compiler converts the entire program written in high level language into a machine language in one go. Right? Compiler converts the entire program, whether the programs are written in a 100 pages or 200 pages, but compiler converts the entire program in a high level language into a machine language in one go. If it fails to convert the program because of the error present in the program, all errors are reported together along the line for debugging. In compiler, we have the option of debugging. Debugging means if you want to remove the error. This is the faster as compared to the interpreter. Compiler is faster to the interpreter. Means both the programs are same. Interpreter and the compiler are same. The work of both the things are same to find out the error of the programs. Debugging mentioned above in the process removing all errors from the computer programs. Some examples are high level languages and basic. C, C++, Java, these are the name of the programming. Assembler, compiler and interpreter are the language processor. Yes, these are the language processor. Assembler, compiler and interpreter are the which are a type of system software. Right? Now let's talk about fourth generation language. What is fourth generation language? Why we divided the languages into a different parts? Because in a first generation language we have a little bit of knowledge, and after that we get some knowledge and we get some errors. We'll rectify that and we generate a new generation language, that means second generation. Then after we have done some modification, then we generate the third generation language. Then we done some modification, we generate a fourth generation language. Fourth generation language is also known as very high level language. They are very user friendly and easily understood. They allow programmers and users to specify what is the computer is composed to do without having to specify how the computer is supposed to do it. These have following features. The features of fourth generation language are user friendly, high speed of execution, increase in speed of developing programs, minimize user efforts, decreasing in errors. So these are the Features of fourth generation language. Fifth generation language. What is fifth generation language? The next step was developing of programming language, fifth generation language. These are the languages, they are also close to language spoken by human beings. The command of fifth generation language are sophisticated, and one command replaced dozen of commands. That means at that particular time period, they understand that they merged so many commands in a one command. One command replaced dozen of commands of the fourth generation language. Hence, programming is quick and simplified. These are mainly used to develop of artificial intelligence. So these are the, this one is called the fifth generation language. So now discuss about the hardware and the software, the definitions of the hardware, software, system software, application software, general purpose computer, special purpose computer, machine language, assembly language, assembler, high level language, interpreter, compiler, fourth generation language, fifth generation language. Hardware, all of you know that the hardware, it is a collection of all the parts of you can physically touch is called hardware. Software, it is a set of programs that govern the operation of computer system and its related devices. System software, this controls all internal activities of a computer system and also the ones between all the attached components of a computer system. Application software, it enables the user to complete the specific task. Machine language, the language which is composed of zero and ones is called machine language. Assembly language, the language used simple English word is known as mnemonic codes and also called the assembly language. Interpreter, it converts the high level language program into a machine language line by line. Compiler, it converts the entire program written in high level language into a machine language in one go. What is machine language? The language which is composed 0 and 1 is called machine language. Assembly language. This language uses simple English word known as mnemonic codes. Assembler, it is used to convert the simple input and assembly level language into a machine language. What is programming language? It is a set of command instructions and other syntax used to create a software program. So these are some definitions which are very necessary in the examination point of view. So all of you have to read out the definitions as well, right? So students, what you need to do is you have to revise the definitions as well and the question and answer, fill-ups, MCQs, and I give you one paragraph also, unseen passage of computer through your computer book. Computer system. All of you know that this one is the diagram. Computer system. We divided computer system into two parts, hardware and software. And we divided the hardware into three parts, purpose, size and technology. And software, we divided software into a five parts, machine language, assembly language, high level language, fourth generation language, fifth generation language. And high level language we divided into two parts, compiler and interpreter, and assembly we divided into one part, assembler. So students, you have to watch this video again and again and memorize it in your mind. No need to write it down in your copies, just memorize the question and answers and the fill in the blanks, matchups, true false, fill ups, MCQs, plus read out the chapter also, because one of the paragraph is also coming in your examination through which you have to find out the answers and you have to note down in your text notebooks. So thank you students, have a nice day, take care of yourself.